Yeah, I'll live. Hey, everybody. So we are live, and we have the wonderful, wonderful lady with us and Bomber with us to talk about what our thoughts are so far with the wonderful Outriders demo that we've been playing. So, why is it coming up as Xbox? Oh, I think I know my problem. Hang on a second. I figured it out.
You got your shit connected to the Xbox too?
No.
Oh.
Alrighty. Hopefully it's working now. And I can't hear Bomber. This is great. Technical difficulties. What would you do without it? Audio, 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 audio. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I have sound. I can't hear Bomber. So chat, how is everybody? Hope you're all having a great day. Okay, that's picking up that fine. Oh, I know why.
Gone.
Did we just get kicked out of everything?
No, I.
We don't know what's going on. Technical difficulties. We don't know what's going on. Going on.
There.
There's Bob. Can y'all hear me? Say no in the chat if you can hear me.
Alrighty, there we go. Holy shit. Okay, so.
I don't think they can hear
Maybe.
us though.
Can you guys hear us?
There's nobody in the chat. See, we just ran everybody off. Can you hear me, Fork? Is that a thing?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Well, thank God.
They can.
Yay! Leon said no.
Oh,
Which is what I asked. I asked him to say no.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, Adam now says maybe. So,
alrighty. So, between the three of us, I looked at our achievements, and unfortunately, someone likes to hide her accomplishments. I'm eyeing you right now.
It's Bomber. He's talking to Bomber.
I can't see.
I'm a
no.
very secretive person.
I
I'm
can't see how
sorry.
many hours that lady's actually played, but from what I've gathered, I'm guessing she's about 10 to 12 hours into the game. Bomber's about
probably.
12 to 14 hours into the game, and I'm at a whopping 20 hours that I've sucked my life away into this. So between the three of us, we have a whole whopping over 30 hours of 40 hours of playtime into it. So, why don't we start with you, lady, on your thoughts?
Which ones? Negative or positive? Or just overall?
I know you told me to write them down, but I didn't.
Let's start with your worries.
This is going to be a long list.
I feel like worries are more.
Go. Just go.
Okay,
Go
so one of my big critiques from the very beginning when we saw this game last year and what we saw in the very first broadcast was I didn't think the graphics were up to par on what we have seen in games for the past, couple of years. I felt like they were just a little bit behind. And I've seen them kind of progress throughout the broadcast and get better and better. But even now in this demo, I feel like the graphics aren't where I'd want to see them. Maybe not like certain times, like the fucking beginning opening sequence is beautiful. Not so much the cutscenes are super like jumpy and like there's coats flying everywhere, and then the hair in some of them really bothers me.
I remember you saying something about that earlier.
Like it really bothers me. I'm like, oh, that hair just looks so bad. And then the water, and I'm such a fucking water judger when it comes to games. I'm like, if you can do water right, the game's probably going to be solid. The water isn't great to me.
Okay, sorry to interrupt you. Apparently I can't get the video to work, even though I recorded up to an hour of gameplay and it's not wanting to play.
We'll just do
That's
our
awesome.
faces.
Yeah, exactly. It's so great.
This video, that screenshot is fine. Yeah, whatever they're seeing they're seeing your porn in the background, and like the shit they're seeing on YouTube right now is just weird.
I mean, it is what it is. So go ahead. You were talking about the water.
Yeah, water wasn't great, and I don't know. Like, and I'm not even a graphics person, but I feel like it could be better. There's just certain things that I feel like could be better there when it comes to graphics. I stood there in the hub for a while and watched some of the NPCs, and some of the movements were just jerky and weird and strange, and I was like, oh, that's a little off-putting, just a bit. But that's something that really, really got to me. Other than that, mechanics-wise, fucking cover, horrible. I'm so glad I'm playing as a trickster and I don't need to use cover as much as some of the other fucking classes, because the cover system is just wonky, and sometimes I get stuck and I'd be like rolling when I don't want to roll, or just like backwards when I don't want to be backwards. That was something that was really getting to me. Of course, camera shake. That was something I said from the very beginning. I think I logged in and I put in chat and I was like, holy fucking camera shake. Like, I get nauseous super easily. So that was something that stood out to me. I'm hoping. I was skipping cutscenes. Like, I was just like, fucking even can't. Between the graphics and the camera shake, I was just like, fuck it. I don't care about the story at this point. Just let me shoot things. Those things were big. What's another one that really got to me? The loot. I know that you've been talking about the loot. The more that we talk about it, the more I'm like, I see your point, Fork. Loot is definitely a little bit off. Yeah, I don't. There's more that's more off-putting, and I think I'm just being extra judgmental because I'm like, I want it to be so good that I'm like, please be good, because I've been up hyping this game and I don't need a fucking another vanilla Destiny incident.
Anthem.
Or for you guys, Anthem.
Yeah,
I never
absolutely.
did that, but
So I'll jump in on the loot thing. What she's referring to is the fact that there's legendaries that are dropping, but there's no epics that are dropping, and in a way it makes me worry, because are they in the loot table? Outriders have been very vocal about trying to fix things, explaining what's going on. Hey, this is what's going on. This. They've been very vocal, but they have not said a thing about. I mean, there's been some moderators that said, "Oh, well, epics aren't in the loot table right now. They took them out." And it's like, okay, that's fine that you took them out. That's fine. But then why'd you leave legendaries in? I can kind of see some people's point on, well, they left legendaries in, that way you could see how awesome they are. That's great. But then leave epics in. The fact you take epics out, it makes no sense. Plus, the RNG makes no sense in the world whatsoever. I mean, there's people that have killed more things than I can count, and there's some people that log in and a legendary drops on their head. So, to me, it worries me a little bit. I'm hoping that is not the way it is. Me personally, I've always gone with a system where you have 5 total loot tiers. You should divide them by levels. White, you get them predominantly 1 to 6. Green, you start getting them at 4 to 10, so 4 to 12, so on and so forth. And it builds up to where you're constantly getting more of them at a certain point, and then you start getting some more of the next tier before you tap out. But you'll still get some of those as you go on. Like, you'll still be getting whites at level 30 because you need them for crafting and things like that, and that's fine. But, and I think it doesn't help that I put so many hours in the game that I keep seeing the same loot that, to me, I feel like I'm stuck and I'm not seeing anything good at all. Hey, Casket Repair. So, to me, there's things that bug me, things that don't. The cover bugs me, but the more I thought about the cover, I was playing with Wilmy and Leo, and it kind of came to thought that maybe the reason why the cover sucks so badly is because they've said from day one, cover isn't your friend. You need to be aggressive.
It shouldn't be a thing. It shouldn't, but there should
it
should still be usable. It should be. It shouldn't be clunky.
Well,
if I need cover, I should be able to use cover without trying to fucking roll.
There's a
jump.
problem. There's a problem about them saying
more trying to use cover than not using cover, and that's a problem.
Well, see, the problem that I have with the whole, when they first were saying, cover, you're pretty much not going to want to do it because, you need to heal, so you got to kill things or hit things and do, leeching and all that crap. However, there's so many. There's like 15 different places to connect to do your, to sit behind walls or whatever, which do help you in certain instances. But to me, a lot of times it can screw you up because if you accidentally hit A, it's going to link you straight to the stupid thing. And then you're trying to hit B to jump away and then it doesn't work, or it goes the wrong way. And then you're just all backwards trying to fight. So like it took a little while, but once I've built my trickster now, yeah, I don't use cover. Dude, unless I just get stupid, unless I just do something stupid. But for the most part,
I use cover when I first enter to like kind of just gauge. Like I'm like, okay, this is where I'm going, and then I'm not in cover.
Yeah, I played enough of the maps. I know where I need to go, but at the same time, if I need cover, it's too clunky to get in and out of cover, and that's the biggest problem. Some of the guns, they almost look exactly alike. I'm hoping that they make them different, that we have more models. Legendaries look totally different. Epics look totally different, but whites, greens, blues, they look kind of the same, so I'm kind of hoping they separate out those a little bit. I would like to know if all the mods I'm breaking down, if they are going somewhere, because...
You just see them.
Kind of worries me a little bit. See them, yeah, you see them go away, but I don't know where they're going, and I have the accolade for 45 that I found. So I'm kind of like, well, where are they going? Because I'd like to know. I would like it if in a week they open it up to where we could actually do the forge. I don't think they are going to, but I would hope so. The cutscenes have got to go. Oh, dear God. I don't need a cutscene to open a door or to jump a ditch or to do something when, like, me and Wilmy timed it. And, what was it, me and Wilmy? No, it was me and Leo. He was on Steam. And it took longer for the cutscene to load and to load out than it would have been if they just loaded us straight into the level. To me, it makes no sense.
It really sucks for people on older hardware where their stuff isn't just going like ours.
So one of the biggest worries that we talked about was crossplay and how it was going to work in the demo, and that they needed to hit it good and it needed to work. They did it. Crossplay works great. I played it with someone on PC. Someone I talked to played Xbox, PC, and PlayStation. It worked fine. Inviting's a little bit weird, but for the most part, it works fine. You just got to enter the code. No big deal. However, apparently playing Xbox to Xbox, you encounter lag, all sorts of issues. My Devastator, when I'm going to do my gravity leap, he hits the ground and then sits there for 8 seconds while I get shot or whatever.
Yeah, and I've heard that being a super relevant thing. Like people are actually having that issue across the board with Devastator
Yeah.
specifically. So
It's just that one. Gravity Leap, there's something wrong with it. Every now and then it'll tell me I have no target, and there's 9 on my screen that I'm like, really? You can't pick one of these that I can just slam into? Also, the targeting in Gravity Leap, and also Leo's the trickster move with those little
The
bubble.
teleport.
Yeah, the teleport. I don't know what's going on with it. You will target the guy you want, and you'll go somewhere else. And it's like, that's not what I was aiming for.
I turned teleport off, and I did like the bullet one because I feel like with my bubble and my bullets, I'm just a fucking bitch, cool ass bitch. So I just don't even fuck with the teleport anymore.
I do the teleport just because of my now it's 20% cooldown reduction, so I'm able to jump around a lot more.
Leo says it's time sphere is the one he uses, where he teleports and does his little time sphere thing. Because there's times that we are farming the captain to get legendaries, and he would go to where the snipers were, and I'm like, "Where are you going?" And he's like, "I didn't mean to go here." So
we were trying that when we were playing Me, Bomber, and Cloud. Like I was trying to teleport up to the snipers to try to fucking fuck them up, like at that time. But I was purposely doing it, which is sweet. Like you can do that, but
there are things I do like about the game. It's different than a lot of games I've played. I kind of wish if I opened my map I could teleport to a flag. The fact that I have to go back to a flag to teleport back to town is kind of annoying. But it's different. The environments do feel... I mean, it feels like devastations happen, like apocalypses happen and everything, and you're trying to do something. If we could get rid of the voting system, I would be happy. If you're in my fucking game, you're going to do what I want or get out of my game.
I actually kind of like the voting system in a way.
Like, I hate it because you get that one person that's not paying attention. You're like, hit up.
Well, I mean, that happened a lot between me.
It's always me.
Just Lady. Lady's the one just sitting there like, I don't know what you're talking about.
But, oh, fuck, it's me. I'm sorry.
But no, like, the voting thing's fine because, I mean, you got people that'll be, you know, selling things or breaking down things. You don't want to just take them away from whatever they're doing. Like, that's just kind of a dick move. So the voting's fine. It's just people. Also, it's just not very prominent on the screen either because it's very small on the bottom, like middle left, and it's just white, and you barely see it really. Like vote, and it's like then you have to hit like the right.
Yeah, you have to hit right directional, which sometimes I had it 2 or 3 times.
Yes.
To go, and then I had to hit up. And to me, what I would rather see is in the middle of your screen, Fork Boy Gaming is activating, and there's a 15-second countdown. And the only option you have is, hey, Fork, can you deactivate it? I'm doing something. Okay, no big deal. I hate the voting. Leo and Ghost ran into crossplay because Leo was on Steam, and when you're in crossplay, apparently you can't shut off matchmaking for some reason. They were playing, and they got some random person that would not skip anything, would not activate, vote. It got to the point where Leo kicked the guy because it was a horrible experience. And to me, that's where you're going to lose people. They need to make it as fluid as possible. Crossplay works great. I am surprised at how well it works.
System and actually how easy it is too.
Yeah, system to system. If you're playing with someone, me and Ghost both have Series X's, and he kept having disconnection issues.
Oh yeah,
never had that problem with when he played with Leo. I never had that problem playing with Leo.
We had that problem with Cloud.
Yeah, we played with Wilmy, had the same problem. We played with Leo, had the same problem. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a NAT issue or something else, but
yeah, and see, like when me, Lady, and Cloud were playing, it would disconnect. It kept saying host kept, disconnection or whatever, and then it would kick me back in the game. But Cloud, it would just freeze his whole entire game up, and he'd have to restart it, do it again. He'd do one thing. And the times that
Cloud was like hosting us, it would kick us all, and we'd all have to.
Yeah. Now that we went over our worries, or Bomber, you need to do your worries.
Yeah, I did do my worries.
Yeah, can you please let him talk?
No.
The few worries I have, when I say worries, things that need to be fixed. I mean, one, camera shake. Yes, I know, Lady, you talked about that. That is horrendous in the cutscenes. Like, I want to know about the story. I want to know more about it. But when you sit there and the camera's doing this number, basically, like somebody has like a freaking, I don't know, handy cam and going, I'm gonna.
I don't understand why camera shake is still a thing. I don't understand what it adds. Like, I've never understood it.
Like, it's so bad in this game. I can understand. Cutscenes make me sick.
If there was a cutscene where it's like in the middle of a battle, and that's the scene, okay, fine. The shake's not going to bother me because people are moving. But when you have two people that are standing and talking, and it's shaking, what for? Like, is there a
Why
bomb
does
going
the
off?
guy
Like,
have
what's going on?
fucking like he
Yeah,
has
it's like he's
Parkinson's
got
or whatever? He's like,
Parkinson's, man. Like, come on, man.
I can't even watch fucking Cloverfield, so I just no.
Yeah, I would me neither. That's a terrible movie anyway, so no point. But that's one thing. Number two for me is yes, cover, but what was one of my main freaking things that pissed me off in the game? Honestly, is just the what was it? Oh, the guns in general. So what I came across, I did get two legendaries, a shotgun and a submachine gun, both with really cool mods. However, they don't do a lot of damage. Like they don't. Neither like they do all right, but you have to be in situational things for them to actually work well. I have pistols that were freaking destroying everything, and that's what I was using for the whole time.
So let me jump real quick. Hold on.
So weird.
Wilmy noticed that also. He quit using his normal guns and was just running pistols. And there was my pistol out hits my rifle as far as damage goes, which makes no sense. It's like it's a sidearm. It shouldn't be doing that insane of damage.
So when we were playing Bomber, remember how I asked you if you'd used your your pistols or your sidearms yet? And we were both like, no, I haven't done it. I switched to it. Like when I asked you, I ended up switching to it, and I was fucking shit up. I was like, oh, this is actually like, besides my automatic shotgun, like that was like one of my favorite things to do, but it's kind of hard and weird, not weird to get to, but like holding that Y button and the like transfer takes a little bit. It takes like,
it sucks.
It's not as fluid as I want it to be.
I am happy that you said that, because there's multiple things about the button configurations that piss me off. One is holding down Y to switch to my freaking pistol. That's stupid, especially when I got my blue pistols and they're freaking beastly. Like if I hit somebody, it has a chance to do an firework explosion, which is stupid. It destroys people. What?
You're starting to break up a little bit. You're getting a little.
Nah, son of a bitch. Okay.
Is it on me?
And then the other thing is when you go to pick up anything, you have to hold down X or whatever it is on PlayStation or whatever.
And you know, like, the harvesting stuff, like it was cool the first time when I pulled out my drill. I'm like, this is cool, but I really don't want to see that every single time. Can I just fucking run up on something and pick it up? Like, this isn't fucking Red Dead Redemption 2. Please.
Yeah. And I don't get it. I really don't get it. Apparently it's saying my camera is all janky, so that's good. Which my side,
just getting a little blurry. You were looking great at the beginning. I think it's more of your internet connection.
But the internet's fine. What the hell?
You looked amazing. Like a little bit ago, you had like that blurry background. You look like Jared.
David, so you can get epic items from the loot store. Speaking about the store, that is one thing that does bug me. I believe the store should be universal. If I log in and a lady logs in, we should have the exact same store. Mind you, the mods on the weapon, on the armor should be a little bit different if she's playing Trickster and I'm playing.
So it's not?
No, it's not. It is. The store is RNG, which to me that annoys me even more, because I had two epics in the armor,
fucking stupid,
and the guns, and I told Leo, "Oh, there's epics." He's like, "Not in my store," and I'm like, "Wait, what?" I'm like,
"I've yet to see an."
I'm like, "Okay." That is the stupidest thing in the world, because that is one of the things that you could actually be helpful is lady gets on and says, hey, there's epics in the store for the next hour. Okay, sweet, I'm home. I'm going to go home and I'm going to buy them real quick.
It's like Xur.
Yeah, exactly. And to bypass that and have it be random, to me, it makes no sense. It's like, what are you doing? Yeah, there is no epic loot in the game. A moderator on Reddit, not Outriders, a moderator on Reddit said it's not in the game. Only legendaries are, which makes no sense.
But it's only a few. It's only a few legendaries too.
Yeah, from what I've seen, it's only 6 legendary weapons that I've seen so far. A sniper. It seems to be one of every class.
It's almost every single gun from Legendary Gun Week.
Yeah.
Plus the rag or whatever that was not in Legendary Gun Week.
Yeah, there's a sniper, a rifle, a shotgun, an auto shotgun, a submachine gun, a double barrel, and a revolver is what I've seen so far. And I would think if there's any more out there, we've seen it by now with so many people playing. Now, Bomber, were you done?
Um, I think so. I mean, because it is primarily just the button configurations, the running. I also think is pretty janky because when you're trying to do your super melee, like your charged up melee, when you're having
Yeah.
to run and hit melee, it's hard to activate it because you're clicking into the stupid thing and it doesn't recognize it half the time. Same thing that goes with your dismantling stuff. That's, I know that's a thing that you don't like
Dismantling
either.
is fucking
Like,
stupid.
it's stupid. You're clicking the right stick 15 times to click one item. It's so stupid.
It doesn't work
So-
all the time. Like,
I
it's
know.
just not there.
The one thing Anthem did great.
Well, it took a while.
It did take a while, but the one thing Anthem did great is you could set the loot quality to dismantle. Like, I want everything below legendaries to be dismantled, and it would do it. Mind you, it took, I think, 6 months to...
6 months, yeah. It was like 6-8 months before they
But-
fixed that.
To me, that's one of the
That's a
best
huge
things.
thing in the Destiny community. Like, people just don't want to see blues anymore. They're like, please just
I don't
stop
smell it.
fucking
Yeah.
dropping blues.
But one thing I did find is, and I was trying to figure out how it worked, and I figured it out, is if you go into your options and go down to auto loot, you can set the auto loot to what you want. Now, it does not pick up the loot when you run over it. That is not how it works. When you die or leave the area, and when I mean by leave the area, you are leaving that
Like instance, basically.
that instance, and you're teleporting out. Whatever loot quality you have and above goes to your inventory. I am now set to where if it's not rare, I don't want it. So I just open chests and keep running because I know once I get done, it'll just autofill me and I'm done. It is great. I like it. It is a great thing, but I do not like how the loot is. Like, I have gone through 70 weapons that I counted so far that I've collected and dismantled, and I only got 3 sidearms. Which to me...
That's the number one thing that takes, like, you don't see drop a lot.
I mean, I guess if I took into the fact that you have snipers, rifles, shotguns, auto shotguns, submachine guns, and the other one, double barrel, then you have 6 weapons that are dropping compared to 1. Well, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense, but that should make... Statistically, I should have gotten 10 sidearms with that. So
My sidearms I've bought. Like, I don't think I've had one revolver drop. Other than that, I bought my other pistols, the ones I actually like.
I've had a few of them, to be honest. Yeah.
Adam Young says you can also push down on the D-pad to auto pick up to whatever you have set. Oh, yeah, I didn't know that. I
didn't know that either.
I just didn't care because there were times that someone would be dead and I can't pick up an item. And I'm like, I don't want to revive you. I want the item. And I get... So, I mean, it's interesting. Okay, so now that we told you our worries and our gripes and everything, Bomber, we'll start with you. We'll go in reverse order. What are the things you actually did enjoy and actually found fascinating?
Okay, so basically what I actually like about the game. One, I mean, I know, Lady May said she doesn't quite like the way it looks. It doesn't look as pretty, but to me, it looks really good. Now, granted, they need to get rid of the motion blur, 100%. It would make the game look even better, I personally believe. But the combat to me has been phenomenal. The powers are freaking cool, especially when you combine them together. It just
absolutely.
it makes for a freaking fun time. The quests are actually pretty good. It takes a minute to get used to how where your point of interest is supposed to be. However, if you just press up on the D-pad, it just takes a white marker and it literally walks you to where you need to go anyway if you have a certain quest, which I think is really cool because if you choose a quest, side quest, whatever, and you just press up on the D-pad, it goes straight to, it takes you right to it. So that's kind of a nice thing. There's the really nice thing because for the longest I was like, man, it's, if you get in a pickle, it's going to be a problem getting ammo. Well, this game, you're always going to have ammo. Plus, they always have the refill. They have
almost
multiple
annoying
refill
to me
stations.
in a way. Like, I'm just like, can you make it a challenge, just a little
Well,
bit?
I like the fact that you don't have that because they have a ton of refill.
But there's ammo crates everywhere.
Nodes. Yes, lots of the refill crates, and I love that. The classes in particular do completely play different. So I've noticed some people, get upset like if they played Pyro, then they go to Techno and they're like, "Oh, Techno sucks." I'm like, it actually doesn't. It's way different than Pyro, way different than Trickster. So yeah, you got to play a little bit different, and they're set up completely different. So, and you're going to see some that are going to do more damage than others right away. Like you're going to see the Trickster and the Techno pretty much out BPS, should anyway, depending on how you eventually
Play.
do your talents. But ultimately, they all play differently, and I love that. That's a good thing. If they were all the same, it'd be pretty damn boring. But the look of it, the story behind it, I think is really cool. It's different. So yeah, and yes, the like what Fork has already talked about is the crossplay. It works phenomenal. That's a great thing. That's amazing. I mean, now I don't have to worry about my buddy that does buy it on PlayStation or PC or Stadia or whatever. I can still hook up and play with them. I never got a chance to check out the in-game chat, so I don't know how that sounds, how it works.
There is in-game chat though. Like
So you have to turn it on. Actually, it's
Yeah.
set to off. It's via voice over internet protocol. I have not used it. I have it on, but I haven't used it yet. One thing before I get back to you, Bomber,
Sorry.
is I would like the sound to be able to be adjusted, because when you adjust the sound in game, it doesn't seem to do a whole lot. And there's really highs and really lows, and there's not a lot in between. And sometimes when you get 3 people slamming down into area and explosions, it gets loud as fuck.
I actually noticed that, and I didn't even think of it, because I have hearing, like I just in general have hearing issues. I have half hearing in one ear, and so like some things just come in louder, so I have to adjust things really specifically to get what I want. And I've had a hard time to where I've been turning the game sound completely off, just to be able to hear the people in my party, because I can't do both, so it's been hard for me.
My first playthrough, me and Leo turned the corner around that tank and it went off, and I thought my eardrums were about to burn. Like,
oh, dude.
I was like,
"Oh, dude, it's loud."
Holy, because I mean, I have 7.1, so my right ear, I'm like, oh god, I'm like, I think I'm fucking deaf. Leo's like, what? I'm like, dude, that was loud as fuck. And he's like, oh yeah, you got to turn game sound down. I'm like, thanks, that'd have been great.
I turned down the master volume, I think down to like 4, because
I
it was
always
just
turn
super
game
loud.
sound down when I'm like in like from Xbox. Like it's like I'm at like 90% party chat and only 10% game sound, and even then, like the game sound was overdoing it.
Well, that's how, like my rigs, you can adjust that for party chat versus the game, and it didn't matter.
Yeah, I did that. I turned it all the way down, Bomber, and it was like,
same here. I was that's when I was playing with you. Remember last night, man? I could barely hear you. I was like, the game is so freaking loud, and I even had that at master level 4 and the right rigs all the way down. Crazy.
Video games, I don't know if there's earphones that actually adjust per ear left and right. I do know my rigs I can adjust, but
the new Xbox
that would be sweet, VG. That would be super cool if I could do that. Like that would be absolutely awesome if I could adjust things based on my ears. That would be fantastic.
As far as I know, the new Xbox ones are.
I'm pretty sure Leo didn't forget to tell me about.
Hey, I ordered those. I have those coming.
I'm pretty sure he wanted to see what would happen when we got near that.
You're probably right. You're probably right. But yeah, I mean,
it hurt.
As far as any more pluses, I mean, I love the cosmetic look of everything. Like so far, like even with now, granted, a lot of the helmets kind of look kind of similar, but there are a lot of like headpieces that do look different. The chest pieces so far, I've found a ton that are just completely different, which is nice. The pants, the boots, the gloves. So honestly, that portion of it so far is really good. I wish they would have spent a little bit more time in the customization of your character, only because every time you're in a cutscene, your helmet comes off, so you get to see your person. Well, if there was more customization for your character, I think that gives you more pride of your character. You know, that's the whole thing. You want your guy to look as cool, pretty, scary, whatever you want. And I think they just have it as very default. Like it's just like you might as well not have had a character creation in a sense.
Like you have, I mean, at the end of the day, we have about 20 options. 20 options with minor cosmetic differences. Like that's what we're looking at.
And the colors barely change. Like hair
barely change.
Like unless you're white, options. Like black, brown, light brown, they look all the same. Like it's really bad.
They really do. Unfortunately, they really do. And then as a female, like we had like, so I fucked around because after you and I talked, Bomber, I said that I didn't really know what the like male customization looked at. So the next character I created, I kind of looked at that, and I realized that you guys don't even have a third customization for like body paint type of stuff, where we have like a makeup customization, and you guys should have, like, even if it's not makeup, I feel like you guys should have some kind of like war paint.
I'd like some guy liner.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, make me look like Jason Momoa. That's fine.
That's something that I feel like for me as somebody who absolutely loves customization, when I go into games, customization is severely lacking. It has
especially for an RPG
of Destiny, and those original, like, oh, I've got these 10 hairstyles and this is the brace, but it's cool that you can change it on the fly. Like, I mean, if one cutscene I want to be, you know, this chick with a mohawk, and the next cutscene I want to have hair, that's kind of sweet. But even then, I'm like, it's almost weird that I can do it like that dramatically. Like, changing my hairstyle is one thing, changing my makeup is another thing, changing the whole look of my character anytime I want.
Your face. It's like, I'm gonna change my whole face.
It's a little fucking weird to me.
Yeah, David. The male characters look like we're in our 40s, and every female character I've come across looks like they're in their 20s.
I also will say that if you put on the big beard, you look like Ivor or whatever his name is.
Ivor,
from freaking Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Like, it looks just like him. I'm like, nice.
I mean, you gotta copy what you can. Okay, so the things that I like that the maps are a little bit smaller. They're self-contained. You can go from area to area. I do like that the game is aggressive. If you try to hide, it does come after you. You have to play a little bit more aggressive. For me, that's my play style, so it actually works pretty well for me. I like that you get as much loot as you do. You're constantly getting greens and blues, so I'm hoping it'll continue with epics and legendaries and things like that. So the helmets didn't bug me as much, or the chest pieces, because it seemed, well, except for the fact I have an epic chest piece, so it's just sitting there constantly now on me. I can't change it out. But for the most part, I mean, I was constantly changing my gear out up to a certain point. Now I'm kind of stuck because I can't. Anything that's higher than mine is now giving me options for, like, the Impale, and technically I think it's at level 9 you actually unlock the Forge, and then you can actually start taking mods off and changing it. So if you like a certain helmet, you can keep that helmet and you can adjust it. You can take things off. So, I mean, it doesn't bug me as much. I like that the city's laid out a little bit better than some of the cities I've played in, where everything's laid out. Okay, you go here, you go here, you go here. It's not so bad. Teleporting is quick. I do love the fact that if you go from one area to the next area, you're loading in within seconds. It's not 30 seconds.
As long as you're on a next-gen system or PC.
Yeah, if you're on next-gen or PC, it loads fast. If you're playing on an Xbox One S like Leo, oh dear God.
It's no bueno.
Leo, you are one of my best friends, but dude, I kicked his ass to a Steam. I'm like, you got to play on fucking Steam or get off, dude. I can't do this. Because we'd sit there for a minute or two. I'm like, Leo, I can't play with you. I'm sorry, I can't do this. Well, fuck him, spoiled. I'm like, nah, dude, I was literally loading in 2 seconds. You get in, now it's minutes. I can't do this.
Dude, yeah, there was points with my Series S where I was trying to read the like points in the corner.
Oh, yeah,
I'm like, oh, what do you have to tell me during this thing? And I couldn't even read through the whole fucking like. Yeah,
in a way, it was nice having Leo because I could read through 2 or 3 little things.
That's true. You can actually read.
But then you're also like, I'm waiting. So I mean, it loads fast if you can't read the tips. Which some of the tips and lore I actually found kind of interesting. So that was kind of cool because you can't find it anywhere, even in the journals. So I thought that was kind of neat. The boss fights, there's things that bugged me, and then the more I thought about it, I realized it didn't bug me as much as it should. We were fighting the captain, farming for legendaries, and every time we fought him, he was a different element. He'd fight different. He'd have different powers, and certain elements, it's
so
hard
that's
as
a
shit
thing?
to kill him. Oh yeah.
I thought I was just drunk every time I fucking played the game.
Anytime you fight an elite, except for certain ones, like the guy that you go to farm the legendaries that we were doing, the lieutenant. Marlin or whatever mission where you go up and you see the thing walking.
Okay.
So the captain that's there, he's classified as an elite, and the captains will actually change. There'll be acid, there'll be fire, there'll be cold. If he's fire, what ends up happening is you get him down to about a quarter health, and then he becomes this red little blob that you can't damage, and then he comes back at 3/4 health, and you're like, son of a bitch! And then you got to kill him again. There's another one where he creates an anomaly where you can't damage him. But I liked it because it was constantly changing, and you couldn't just go in and be like, this is going to be cake, we're just going to do this. It's like you had to adapt. When we fought Gauze, I found out that when you fight him with more than one person, he has new abilities. With 2 players, he has this one where he puts lightning on the ground and it follows you around.
Solo, that does it on solo too, because that happened to me.
Yeah, see, I've never had
that crap hurt. I almost died because of that crap, because it spreads so fast, and you're trying to sprint and you can't, sprint because the button doesn't work half the time.
Yeah, see, I died a couple times to that, but I've never had it happen in solo, so I thought it was just something that happened in multiplayer.
But here's the thing, Fork, is I felt like there's been times where I've gone and I've done these missions, and I've done them, and every time I do them, like a different thing pops up, or maybe not every time, but I'm like, wow, I don't remember them being able to do that. Like little fire thing when you're fighting the payback mission, and they do those sprinkler sprinkler thing.
You're talking about those little little nodes that sit there and spin and try to kill you.
I swear that wasn't a thing when you and I did it the first time, Bomber. I do not remember that.
You didn't do it that time, but yeah,
so
you can do that.
If you kill him fast enough, he can't do it. If he's alive long enough, he'll do what's called a healing spell. That's his first spell.
That too.
He started it. I started that mission, and he threw down one of those fire things. Like, I came out of that door, and it was in front of the fucking door, and I was like, what the fuck is this? I've never seen it in my life. Like, what the hell is happening?
Now the good thing is you got to remember, and this is for everybody, you have interrupts, and interrupts do work against bosses, and they do work against elites. They work on everybody in the game. So if you see them healing, use your interrupt if you can. Whether that's your gun.
When your best buddy uses a gun that lifts it up in the air because he's still fucking casting while he's in the air. Because apparently you have to be attached to the ground that you're slamming into. Because multiple times I would do that, and I'm like, he took no damage, and I'm like, fucking Leo.
Because that's his gun, ain't it? That lifts him up.
Yeah, so Leo has a legendary that when he shoots him, it lifts him up in the air. So it took me probably an hour and a half of playing with Leo before I realized what was going on, to where every now and then I couldn't target, and it's like, what the hell? But I mean, overall,
that's hilarious.
I like the fact that if you add people to the game, it adds more enemies. It seems to be they have a little bit more abilities. I am hoping that as it goes on in difficulty, that we start seeing more and more loot drop at higher tiers, kind of like Diablo and Borderlands. As the more players get added, the loot pool gets bigger. I'm hoping for that. That would be
that's because I know that's what you're.
I'm hoping for that. I mean, the more I thought about it, the more I realized me and Bomber were talking about that we're stuck at World Tier 5. They took out epics. Technically, we should be starting to see epics drop pretty steadily, and we're not, because they took it out. We're seeing legendaries drop here and there, so it's one of those things where more than likely, if we were still playing and epics were in, we'd see it. So it's one of those things that bugs me, but people that get epics or legendaries, I'm happy you're getting legendaries. They look cool. I am jealous as fuck. I just wish they would maybe up the legendaries to where a legendary outperforms pistols and whatnot, because pistols seem to be kind of OP'd a little bit. Other than that, I like that guns feel
at least
different.
That I've seen.
I like that your builds actually are different. Like, I even tested, okay, if I change this, does it do anything? And it does change stuff. Like this, unlike Anthem, where they threw stats out there and they did nothing. The stats in this game do matter. Like, I adjusted my damage, and it affected my damage. I adjusted my health. It affected my health. I adjusted my anomaly. All of it affects different things, and it caters to your playstyle and how you want to play. So I liked it. Me and Leo got used to playing each other. I think next week, and I think I'm going to try a Technomancer and just see how it works. Just for everybody wanting to play Technomancer that keeps saying they're not good, you have to remember they're the glass cannon of the group. If you run into battle
and a support,
like a Devastator, you're going to be on the ground looking up at someone's dick that's shoving down your throat. They are not up close and personal. They are snipers. They are they. I mean, Devastators.
I literally run 2 snipers.
Yeah, Devastators and Tricksters are your up close and personal. Tricksters and Pyromancers are your mid-range, and the reason why I put Tricksters is because they can be a mid-range character. Technomancers are your long range. They are not designed to get up close and personal. They're
squishy.
That way.
When Bomber and I started playing, like, I feel like he kind of had to learn that Trickster thing. Yeah, it was a thing for him. Like, I mean, not saying that you were bad, but
Leo hated
it was,
it.
It was different.
No, I sucked at first. Now, Trickster's definitely my number one, as I thought it would be, but it's definitely my number one now. But Techno's my number 2, Pyro's 3, Devastator's last. Like, I don't think I'll probably won't ever play Devastator.
I really enjoyed the Devastator. The little bit that I played so far.
So the one thing you have to remember as the Devastator and anybody that's playing this is you are not going to do massive amounts of damage. You're not. You are not going to outperform a Trickster. Get it out of your head. You're going to do damage with your guns and everything, and your abilities do damage. But when Leo pops off one of his abilities, I can see health bars go down where I'm like, fuck you.
But when we're playing Trickster?
Yeah, because like I'll do my ability.
So crazy.
Oh, they're
I'll do my
kind of
ability, and it's like, Leo does his ability. He's like, I'm like, he's like, are you even hitting it? I'm like, yes, Leo.
Yep.
I'm hitting it.
Yeah, they're pretty.
Dude,
OP
I just
right now.
go in there and like fucking. I love the feeling of going in and just fucking like burning them down. I'm like, yes, y'all are stupid.
Hey, especially now, like I have 2 of the slices now. I can do 2 of them.
That's me.
Now.
I told you that I got that fucking 2 slice thing. Oh my god, so fucking good.
And mind you, those of you that are watching, you saw how we were worried, but now you can see how we are excited. There are many things that we are excited about.
Oh, absolutely.
Devastator, if you want to play a class that is very hard to kill, Devastator is the way to go because you have so many things that add armor. I have Earthquake. The more things I hit, the higher my armor goes. Guess what? I go in and hit 4 or 5 things, and then I go to town when I'm at 4,000 armor, and I'm like, I'm going to kick someone's ass now. And
it's traditional tanking. Like, I mean, when you're looking at it, you're looking at a traditional tank class where you can go in and damage shit. Where with Trickster, like, we're doing high damage, high stuff, but we're your traditional rogue
Just wait,
class.
But like, wait until you can actually be a tank Trickster. I'm curious on that though. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I've looked at the skill tree, and there's definitely the possibilities of doing that. But I don't think you'll ever get the tank status that you can with Pyro or Devastator.
So I looked at it. You can be blinking and putting up the bubble so much.
No, what she's getting at is every so many levels, I get a perk that adds even more armor and more health.
No,
Devastator, where Trickster doesn't.
And we get shields.
Yeah, but now, mind you, the one thing I do like about Devastator is when we're on certain areas, I can just hit something, get armor, and I can run in and take out a sniper, no problem. Where a Trickster may have a harder time getting there, or a Pyromancer, where I can get hit over and over again. It's not going to hurt me as much, or I can get my health back and keep going. So
I just teleport to him. That's Leo, what I do every time.
I hate you. Teleporting. It's easy to kill a Devastator.
I just teleport to the freaking snipers every time. Actually, I do have a sniper now that I pretty much one-shot any regular ad anyway. So if they're just up there sniping, if I hit a headshot, they're dead. One shot. I love it. Love the sniper.
Overall, I want to play Technomancer because I want to try it out. Pyromancer I want to try out. But one thing I want a lot of people to know, Leo came into the game saying Pyromancer for life, nothing else matters, and he is maining a Trickster.
Yes, I love it. Yep.
Which is crazy because I've been like so phenomenal. Trickster from the beginning, and then
dude, Leo kept on being like, it's only fire, baby, Pyro for life. It's only Pyro, everything else
sucks. The armor for the Pyro is so pretty. Like, that's what makes me want to get like good at Pyro. Is just for the fucking armor that the Pyro has.
Tricksters can do massive damage, but playing with Ghost, when he does this little wall of fire and you just see things die, and it's like, wow, you just burned them all. I mean,
once you get that pretty good. Down.
Yeah.
Hey, Dragonheart. So overall, I'm excited for the abilities. I hate the fact that we can only go so far because the builds I've been going through, looking and just kind of adding it up in my head.
Oh, dude,
there's a complete
you don't get to really touch
DPS
much.
build. There's a complete support build for Devastator. There's a complete just tank build. So, to me, I can't wait to see what else I can do. Lady, you're up.
I thought you were going to forget about me.
You are my lady. Because it's
my heart.
ladies' night. And
No, you guys have pretty much touched on most of the stuff that I would say that I'm most excited for. I, for the most part, love the gunplay. For the most part, I mean, it has its downfalls, shotguns especially. I've really had issues with shotguns. At least pump, like not so much automatic, but the actual like pump shotguns.
The pump shotgun. Get the if you get that legendary one. I think it's called the.
Oh my god! What can you
the
fucking just suck a cock?
The Creeper's Rim or whatever, that thing, if you're on them, you have to be like pretty much like giving them a handy, but you literally can one shot, or like I did, there was two guys standing next to each other, shot one time, killed both of them.
Well, I mean, Stupid. And then when you're with the automatic like, shotguns, and like I have some fucking great blue shotguns that are just fire, like they're just fucking great ricochet, and like they burn through things. And I have a shotgun that when I use it, I get fucking health. Oh my fucking god, it's great. But like the actual targeting on some of them can be a little bit off. I'm like, I feel like it's not as smooth and fluid as some of the other gun classes. The gun sounds are amazing to me, and I'm a sound person, so I'm like, oh my god, I love the way that this gun sounds. That's big for me. But yeah, overall, like I feel like it has so much potential. And I fucking hate saying that. It has so much potential. But it does, like if they do it right, if they like look at our feedback right now, like I feel like it could just really make the game like what it can be. We're going into it now as a demo and just playing it and seeing what it is great to give us as a gamer. I feel like there's so many positive and like absolutely just facts that people are giving. They're just putting it out there on the internet. And Outriders, like my biggest like plus right now is how they are interacting with us, and they're like, oh okay, you're right, like let's look into this. Like that is
they did so much for PC guys, they did so much for the PlayStation guys, and I know supposedly we're going to get an update for Xbox soon sometime. But
to give you guys an example, me and Lady, I think Bomber, are you in their Discord or no?
No.
They opened up a channel and made it specific to please give us 3 things you want us to fix. They shut it down after 150 messages, and these messages were not camera shake, number 2, this. They were very long messages, very detailed, and they shut it off at 150. They're like, hey, look, we're going to look into this. Most of the things that people were complaining about are the things that we talked about that we're worried about. That, I mean, the message that won the day in that entire thing, we were playing golf, and there's a message in there that says, can you get rid of voting? Because if you're in my game, fuck you, you're going where I want. And I'm like, you win. I like that comment. Because if I'm lead, guess what? We're going where I want. Sorry, Lady, go ahead.
So okay, so here, what if they did a thing to where if you're lead in a party, like a friend party, but if you're joining a random game, like I feel like that voting is kind of necessary if you don't have any kind of.
I still think that it would. I still think that even with friends, like say, if all 3 of us are playing, but say one of us is at trying to break down things or looking through the store, trying to see if there's anything better than what you currently have. Fork is like, screw it, I want to go. Clicks a thing and just we all leave, and then I don't have a chance, and then the timer goes away because then that one piece of weapon's only out there for 15 minutes.
I don't have
we leave, come back, and it's gone.
I just don't have anything against it because I feel like if you're playing a game with your friends and you're in a co-op and shit like that, you should be able to yell at them. Like fucking Bomber and Cloud were yelling at me numerous times, like fucking Lady, look at. I'm like, oh my god, you're right. I'm sorry. Like I'm doing it.
Damn screen.
I'm doing it.
What if there was a way to where they could actually do it to where there isn't a vote system, but I do it. Instantly it pops up, Fork is initiated, you have 15 seconds, 14
yeah 13. Exactly, like give me a bigger time or a bigger thing.
And then you press B and Y and you can cancel it that way. So let's say Bomber's not in the same voice chat as us, which I don't know why you'd be playing
But
a
it
co-op
pops up
game
on the
without it.
side and saying Bomber
Yeah,
cancels
mean,
this because and then
it
you know
should be
that
just
he
big
needs a
on the
little bit
screen
more
anyway.
time.
I mean, the first time it popped up, I was playing with Leo. And I'm like, "What are you talking about, Leo?" He's like, "To the
Yeah,
left,"
you
and I'm
can't
like,
see it.
and mind you,
Yeah,
I
you
play on
can't
a
see it.
75-inch screen TV
Yeah, I
about
know.
7 feet from me, and I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, "Oh," I'm like, "It's not very big," and I'm
No,
playing on a
it's
massive
not.
TV. So
That's what she said. But but yeah, that's
keep going, lady, not bomber.
Whatever. I liked the story so far. I feel like there were points to where I was like, oh, like I wasn't expecting this to happen. Like that's kind of cool. I'm hoping that we get an adequate amount of story because we have talked about it in our chat, personally, us, that they have said that full launch is going to be 30 hours of main story, but they also said that demo was 3 hours of main story. And I know that we have gotten through the demo in way less than 3 hours, so that makes me worried that the 30 hours of main story is actually like 15 hours of main story, and it's not going to be what I want at full launch, especially for a game that doesn't have games as service or DLC planned or anything like that. If I'm getting a full game at launch, like I want a full game at launch. If I'm ordering a fucking 6-foot sub, I want a 6-foot sub, not a 3-foot sub.
So
you know,
we were in a party chat the other night, and I threw up an idea, and lady, you weren't in there, so I want your opinion. What if, and mind you, this is completely fork idea. I have not read this anywhere, so please don't say that this is what they're doing. But what if they already have DLC ready to go, but they're waiting to see how well it launches, and maybe Square Enix is also waiting to launch it because, mind you, players, People Can Fly have made Bulletstorm, which is not a bad game. It was good. It was not great. It was good. Good co-op. It worked well. And Gears Judgment, and we were talking about, what was the last great game they made, and none of us could even think of one. So it's like, well, maybe what if Square Enix said, hey, look, we'll let you launch the game, have DLC ready, we'll decide whether or not DLC goes, depending on how it goes.
Okay, so I can see that kind of being a thing, but I also can't because I don't feel like for developer studios like that, they're like, oh, well, we're just gonna put this shit on the side, and if we can use it, we can, and if we can't, we can't. I feel like that's kind of a waste of resources in a way because I just can't see a developer being like, hey, surprise, we actually have this all in fucking store for you.
Maybe I was just hoping.
Yeah. What I've been saying from the beginning is based on how well this does, on how the feedback comes in, on how many people are playing at launch. Maybe you're right. Maybe they have something in the sidelines. They have plans. I don't think it's anything that's done. It's not like when you bought The Witcher and all of the DLC was there in the game.
Yeah.
But I feel like maybe they have something on the side, a little bit, like just like, okay, these are our plans, an outline of what they're going to do, something that they can get into gear quickly and get shot out. Like that's a possibility. I don't think that we're gonna buy this game and then after, like, they sell like so many copies, they're gonna be like, ha ha ha, we have a totally
it's a
complete
Kickstarter
DLC for you.
We've made like 200,000 sales. We now are launching DLC.
No, like I don't see that, but I definitely feel like them as a company, People Can Fly especially, I feel like they probably have something in store in the future, because I can't see putting this much time in a game and not having a future lined up, whether it be DLC, add-ons,
or just a number
whatever.
2. Because that's what I think. Like, I almost think like there's not going to be any DLC. Like, I can see them just bring out a second one in a few years. If this does well, like they'll get a green light. Okay, make a number 2. They already have all the, they have everything. They just have to update it, and it's all in Unreal Engine, so they can easily bump it up to Unreal Engine 5, make it look prettier. You know what I mean? So they have potential there. And again, but of course, this is what we talked about prior to even going live tonight. Like, they have potential. This game has potential. But we said that with how many looters right now?
I know. That's what's
scary.
Me is like, do I want to say it has potential? But you know what? I said I followed Destiny for 3 years, almost 3 years before launch. It plays a big role in my heart. And then I remember playing alpha and beta and just being like, is this gonna be enough for a game? And it had so much backlash when it came out. And Destiny has grown as a thing, and it's still like, I mean, look at Destiny, like it's fucking doing, like people say Destiny's dead and whatever, but it's not. Like people love Destiny, the community is huge. I don't see it being like that. I think Outriders is more on an Anthem or a Division scale. But Division just came out, and like they have so many new players, so many old players that are replaying. I just hope that it's enough. Like, and with this demo and the hype that we're receiving and the stuff that we're seeing on social media, I can see it doing well at launch. I just don't know how people are going to hold up and wait for any content that's going to come in the future.
But I also think like that's why they have the end game as it's set up with the 15 different areas to go to with the world tier on top of that. I feel like there's enough to last because I mean, again, the whole thing is going to be up to loot. We all know that loot is the purpose of this game. Like that's why we want to keep playing it, to get all the loot, to then get your talents the way you want and be able to just burn through stuff. But do they have enough loot? Do they have enough? Like what Fork's been talking about, is the loot tables correct?
We've been talking about Diablo. We've been talking about Diablo since the beginning. Is it gonna be Diablo enough to get them through?
Yeah, that's 100%.
I mean, so one thing I have heard, and I can't stand it, is people are like, it's not Diablo, and it's like, you're right, it's not Diablo. Diablo is the biggest looter game you have out there, whether you want to call it a looter shooter or a looter RPG. It's a looter. It is a perfect example. Yes, Borderlands is another example, but people use Diablo because it's been around for so long. Yeah. So to me, I like Lady said, I'm hoping that there is enough loot to where it is like Diablo, and you can keep getting loot and keep getting stuff you need and all that. So
well, and that's where I feel like it is. It is weaving together some of the best of looter shooters. So you have the Diablo like loot factor, but then you have the Division build factor. So maybe it's a little bit harder to get loot. Maybe there's more loot than there is in the Division, but you're still like trying to build for those perfect builds. I honestly get so much Division from this game, and I said it from the beginning, and everybody was like, no, it's not that much Division. I'm like, no, I really literally feel like there's a lot of Division-esque shit in this.
No, there is. Like the moving feels a little bit like Division. It's not as smooth as Division. Division is so much smoother.
Smooth. Yeah.
But some of the guns feel like a Division. But at the same time, a lot of people complain about being copies. But it's like, if a game works fine, why not copy the fact of how they work? Because guess what? If it works well,
you're not copying it because
it's definitely that mix of Division, Gears, and then throw it. I don't know what else you really throw into it, but it's really those.
Division, and everybody's saying Destiny, and I don't even fucking feel Destiny. I'm like,
there's
I wish I could feel Destiny.
In this.
It's because
other than like the menu, like other than like your character menu with your guns and stuff, yes,
it's absolutely. And your character creation, like cool, like.
Some of the helmets look like Warlock helmets and whatnot, but at the end of the day, guess what? There are so many games that have been made. There are so many genres that have been crossed and items that have been made across so many games. You're going to copy someone. I mean, you can only have so many ideas, and once you're at the point of so many games, you're going to copy somebody. That's all there is to it.
The Gears part, absolutely, Brian. Yeah, the Gears stuff really... I think that's a big seller for most people, is that people are seeing what People Can Fly did with Gears, and they're seeing it like kind of seep into this game, and it's making a big impact. And like, I mean, look at us. So us three, we've been on this game. We've been kind of sold on this game for a while. Not sold, but we've been intrigued in this game for a long while, right?
We have done 13 podcasts.
Okay, 13 podcasts, but even before that, I
Yeah,
mean,
before,
Bomber
yeah.
and I, we watched the very first broadcast, and I don't know if I can go back to our Discord discussion, like back in, last year, early last year, of us just being like, oh, this game could be good, like it has so much potential. It We've been on it, and as the game has grown and as it's been seen, people are getting more and more attached to it because they're seeing that it has the possibilities of a great fucking shooter if they can like get down the mechanics, if they can do this. I feel like it's something people could talk about for a while. And one of my biggest things is, as I was playing, I don't know if it's the graphics or what, and I don't know if anybody ever played Defiance.
I don't
No,
think I ever played it.
me and Wilmy talked about that because Wilmy was like, "Why does this game feel?" I'm like, "It feels like Defiance, doesn't it?" He's like, "Yeah, but
Oh
not
my
shitty." And I'm
Like,
like, "Yeah."
that was my fucking exact thing. I'm like, this feels like Defiance if it wasn't fucking shit. Like, if Defiance wasn't a shitty game. But I liked Defiance for what it was, especially right at the fucking launch. Like, I didn't hate Defiance for what it was. But I mean, I feel like they're grasping something, and if they can do it, it's great. And I think us who have followed it for so long, or who have like put some kind of like effort behind it, maybe we're a little bit more cynical because we want it to be good. We want it to be what we wanted it to be.
We just want something that we can play for months until another game comes out.
Yeah, and I'm not
That's
looking
really
at
what
a
I'm.
game that I can play for fucking years. Like, I'm over
No,
that.
I just want
I am
months of play
old.
and I'll be fine.
Like, I don't need that shit. Like, I'm done. I'm done playing a fucking game for every season and everything that comes out. I'm not WoW. I'm not Destiny anymore. I'm not fucking Division. I don't need a games as a service. I just want a fucking shooter that I can play with my friends for a long enough time to be like, oh, I got
I got
my
my
money's
$60
worth
worth
out
out.
of this fucking game. And I feel like they can do that. I literally feel like that it's possible. I just think that there's definitely going to be barricades in that process at
You're
this
not
point.
you're not the only one, Sinist.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're going to end here. However, I didn't tell the panel about this, but
Of course it didn't.
since he can't mute us whatsoever, and his birthday was yesterday, let's sing happy birthday to Wilmy real quickly
Oh, I
since
don't
he's in
sing.
chat. Count of three.
Wilmy's not
1, 2.
here.
Oh,
Wilmy,
yes, he
say
is.
you're not here.
Oh, he's
Happy
here.
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
you.
Happy birthday, you sexy
Dear
senior.
Fucking
motherfucker.
Wilmy.
Happy birthday,
Happy birthday
Wilmy.
to you.
So, anyways, we're gonna end here. If you have any questions, please hit us up on Twitter. We're all on Discord. Well, we have a Discord, and we all are on Xbox. I believe, Lady, do you play on Steam at all, or no? Are you planning on playing on Steam?
Oh, I actually have a Devastator on Steam.
Okay. Oh, that's one thing I do hope. Cross save.
So far, that's a
Oh,
no.
so that's
I
one of
hope
my.
so.
I wanted to write that down.
No,
That was
I like
a
how you
big
bring it
thing
up
for
at the
me.
very
So
end. So true.
It's because I just thought about it. It's like,
no.
oh my god.
My Xbox was
It needs
downstairs, and I'm like, I'm gonna go download it upstairs, and like I'll just continue on. And then I logged on. I'm like, oh, like why am I even connected to my fucking Square Enix account if my fucking characters aren't here?
That's a true statement.
I'm hoping there's cross save. Arsonist, we may make this every Sunday. We did do Sundays here and there. We possibly will do it.
We've been kind of here.
It just
and
depends
there
on content. It's just they haven't brought out content for it. That was the reason why.
I actually got an email last night. I don't know. I got a Twitter email last night of a friend of mine, a prominent friend of mine, who asked if I wanted to do an Outriders podcast with him, and I was like, I actually do want. We just don't do it very regularly because the content isn't there. And I was like, and I don't think the content's going to be there after launch. Like, I don't think it's going to be there for a regular podcast. And he was like, oh, like I need to look more into it. And I'm like, yeah, you can't just jump into shit and not know what's happening. But yeah, no, we're there when the content's there. We're gonna have the content when the content's there. So
yeah, our content will come out when to me, it'd be they update this demo at all.
Yeah,
cool.
If they update it, we'll go from there. When the game comes out, we may do weekly or bi-weekly as far as like how to beat certain things, or if people have questions on how to do stuff or whatnot. We do have a
Builds.
Discord if you guys want to join it. Adam is already in bed, but
Adam posted it earlier on in chat. You guys can go back and like grab that link, or I'll post it here in a minute. I think I can find it.
Here, I got his link.
I already beat you to it.
Oh, I'm not even down. I'm not even logged in on Discord on this new phone. I'm sorry.
So
But
if
I've
you
already-
want, you can join us on Discord there. We do have that and other games. We appreciate all of you guys coming out. Appreciate all of you guys being here, the support, and everything else. If you guys have any questions, please hit us up on Twitter. We are on
Go out there
Xbox.
and kill
It is only
something.
3-player, but if we are available, hit us up. We don't mind playing with other people. Mind you, we are all cynical and do make fun of people, so please bear that in mind.
I totally do. Please don't listen to him. Please don't invite me to your party. I'm not going to join you.
She's not going to join you.
She's not. I sent her 4 invites last night, and I got back. The baby's crying. You don't have a baby. The baby's crying. And
I do have a baby.
I'm joking, lady.
Wait, what? Do you not even know enough about me?
No, I do. I'm just more joking. Like, the baby's crying. You don't have a baby. The baby's crying.
Fork, I want to play with you, okay?
But no, hit us up.
Brian's been trying. Brian, you and I are going to play. It's okay. You're one of my favorite people, so I'll play with you.
I haven't even got to play with Lady, so you should feel honored. But mind you, she plays when I'm in bed usually because I have early surgery cases.
She ghosts everyone.
Look,
I don't ghost Bomber. Bomber and I play all the time.
Right there,
we play
right
a lot.
there was a pointless cutscene that was just on the
Yes,
screen.
yeah,
It's
absolutely.
the beard.
Stupid. Yes.
Dude, that cutscene is ridiculous. Those I can do without. Like I said, yeah, I can just go on those fucking.
We can go on for those, but yeah.
Okay. So, anyways, we'll catch you guys later. Have a great night.
See
Thanks
y'all.
for tuning in, and see you all later if I can actually get to where I need to get. Wrong way.
Bye, bitches.